Before we get into the video, I just want to say this book, It Ends With Us, can be triggering for some people as it tackles topics such as domestic abuse and more. So I highly encourage each and every one of you to look up trigger warnings before proceeding to read this book. Now let's get back to the video. Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Pita and today I'm going to be doing a book review for It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. A little heads up before I get into the video, I will be dividing this video into two main parts. So one where I give you all a spoiler-free review, and then I will go more a bit in detail about this book. So there will be spoilers. But don't worry, I would hate to ruin your experience while reading this book, so I will be putting up a spoiler warning before I do get into the spoilers. You might have seen or heard about this book from TikTok since it's been trending there for a while now. So it's about this girl Lily, our main character, who grew up with an abusive father, and she's been wondering why her mother never left him. Growing up, Lily witnessed her mother getting beaten by her father, and she often thought of her mother as weak because her mother just wouldn't leave her father even though he's done a lot of bad things to her. And Lily told herself that she would know exactly what she would do if a man ever treated her the same way that her father treated her mother, which she thought it was simple. She would leave and it would never happen again. She was so sure that she would know exactly what she would do until she goes through the same thing. So on one night when she needed some fresh air and silence, she went on this random rooftop in Boston and met Rao Kincaid. They started talking about what brought each of them up there on that rooftop, and then they start sharing these naked truths about each other. So they both felt this spark. They started having feelings for each other, but what they want are two very different things. Lily, I would describe her as a hopeless romantic. She had this idea that there's a perfect man out there waiting for her. But Rao, on the other hand, he thinks of himself as someone who's too selfish to be in a relationship. Therefore, he doesn't want to be in a relationship at all. Rao is a neurosurgeon who loves working, so he doesn't really have time for other things, especially a relationship. And they talk about a bunch more things, and the night ended with both of them going their separate ways, thinking that they would never meet each other again. But of course, fast forward, she obviously met him again somehow, and at that point, Rao is starting to realize that even though he's like the type of person who doesn't get into relationships, he's having this total soft spot for Lily. At some point, the story also reveals Lily's backstory about her first love, Atlas Corrigan. Atlas is this homeless boy Lily met way back when she was 15 and still living with her parents. The story slowly unwraps when Lily reads her old journal from the time she was still with Atlas. So it's kind of like we're reading into someone's diary. And what happens is while Lily is trying to make things work with Rao in their new relationship, Atlas suddenly reappears into Lily's life after years of Lily not knowing where he is or how he's been doing, so that left Lily kind of overwhelmed. After that, the book just goes into a lot of drama and things just starts to get more and more complicated for Lily. For my review, I think this book is so important that everyone should read it, as it tackles the reality of abusive relationships and how they could look like. There might be times where you have heard a story about abusive relationships and the woman, for example, goes back to their abusive partner. The question that comes to your mind, or that a question that many people ask, is why is she going back to him? Why don't they just leave? She could just leave and not get mistreated like that. Or maybe questions like, how could she still love him even after what he did to her? This book will give you the answer and makes you understand the reality of what goes on in an abusive relationship and shows you that it's not that easy to just leave. Because sometimes preventing your heart from forgiving someone is a lot harder than just simply forgiving them. It Ends With Us is a book that will make you cry as it makes you go through what Lily felt as if you were in her shoes. This is my first ever Colleen Hoover book, and it is definitely not gonna be my last. Colleen Hoover, as I heard, she's like well known for writing heart-wrenching books, and I guarantee this book will give you an unforgettable experience and maybe a lesson that could last a lifetime. It is so beautifully written and it's so inspiring. If you have not read the book, I recommend that you should not skip the author's note because it is so important and people tend to skip the author's note. That is all I could say for the spoiler-free part. So if you have not finished the book, you can come back to my video later and watch after you finished. Spoiler warning. Spoiler warning. I have to admit that I fell in love with Rao's character at first. Like the first few chapters. After a while, like 14 chapters in, I was like, oh, so he's the manipulative and abusive one. Okay, but if you read the book, you can't say that you didn't love him at first. Come on. And I think this is exactly what the author wants. I think Colleen wanted us to fall in love with Rao the same way that Lily fell in love with Rao. So we could kind of share the same experience with Lily, which is so smart, making us fall in love with Rao and then make us go through what Lily went through to show us how hard it is to break the cycle. The one part where Rao clearly pushed Lily down the stairs and then proceeded to be like, Lily, you fell. I was ready to throw the whole book across the room and scream. What breaks me is that the book is also based on a true story as mentioned in the author's note. That is why reading the author's note is so important. I love Atlas and Lily's characters so much. They deserve so much better because they both grew up in abusive household. Atlas and Lily have this thing where they watch The Ellen Show and watch Ellen DeGeneres, the one who voiced as Dory in Finding Nemo. There's this quote from the movie that they kept telling each other to just keep swimming, to cheer each other up. So at the end, when Atlas said, "You can stop swimming now, Lily. We have finally reached the shore," my heart just burst into tears of joy for both of them. I would say this book ended with sort of a happy ending. For some people, it might not be the ending that everyone wanted, but it is the ending that Lily deserves. After she delivered her daughter, Lily decided that she wants a divorce. She has seen her mother experience abuse. She has experienced it herself, and I still can't help but feel bad for Rao. I mean, there could be like a chance that he would actually change for the better this time, but that is not a risk Lily Bloom is going to take. She decided that in no way she's going to risk her daughter having to go through the same thing again. As she said, it stops here, with me and you. It ends with us. And that brings me to the end of my book review video for It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. If you would like more of these book reviews from me, you could subscribe to my channel or check out my other videos. And feel free to leave video suggestions or book discussions in the comment section down below. For today, thank you all for watching and I will see you next time. Have a great day. Bye!